Hey, you know what I was thinking?
What?
I was just thinking how we haven't seen a new Bubsy game for like almost 20 years now.
And?
Well, what if we remade the first two Bubsy games for the PC? People like those games, right?
That's debatable.
Think of all those ones of tens of Bubsy fans who would really be mildly pleased if we brought him back into the limelight.
I suppose, but those Bubsy games belong to Accolade. We need permission.
Please, Accolade hasn't done anything with Bubsy for almost 20 years. I'm sure getting permission from them would be a piece of cake.
Well, yeah, but...
So what do you say? Will you help me reincarnate Bubsy for a new generation of gamers while also appealing to the original fans of Bubsy? Will you be my partner in the Bubsy resurgence?
Puck? Yes.
Awesome, this will be great! Bubsy taking center stage once more with his witty remarks and dated references, it's a recipe for perfection. I mean, what could possibly go wrong? Bubsy Twofer is a game that nobody asked for, nobody wanted, and everybody got anyways. Now I'm going to assume that most of you have never heard of Bubsy before, and if that's the case then I envy you, I really do. Bubsy Bobcat is a mascot created by Accolade for the 16-bit generation of gaming. He's easily recognizable through his undeniable attire of a white shirt with an exclamation mark on it. Bubsy starred in 4 standalone games, each of which being some sort of platformer. In 2014, the rights to Bubsy were sold to TOMMO Inc. through an auction, whose subsidiary company, Retroism, decided to make a remake/compilation game of the first 2 Bubsy games for the PC. They even started their own hashtag when trying to release the game for Twitter, #SaveBubsy. Now many people make fun of Bubsy's first and only foray into 3D, Bubsy 3D for the PlayStation 1. I may even review it at some point. But with the Bubsy 2D games, it's kind of a mixed bag. I've seen people say that they're really good, whereas others say that they're kind of crap. So I decided to give you all a definitive answer as to whether or not the first 2 Bubsy games are actually good, because my opinion is all that matters. I bought the game when it was on sale because I'm not going to pay $5 on Bubsy, okay? Let's just make that clear right now. Nobody pay $5 for Bubsy. I launched the game, and now we're at the menu. Clearly, I'm going to choose to play the first game first. So let's begin with Bubsy in Close Encounters of the Third Kind. Ha! I get it. It's a pun. Those never get old.
What could possibly go wrong?
Oh, he said it! He said the thing! Oh, well now I'm just screwed, aren't I? Oh, no. I'm not even 5 seconds into the game and I can already tell that it's going to be a piece of crap. You know it's gonna be good when you start out with 9 lives. Ha! Get it? 'Cause he's a kitty cat! And literally not even a few feet away is an extra life. First, let's talk about the controls. You move Bubsy with the directional stick. Okay, not too bad so far. You press A to jump. Okay, that's a classic. You press B to also jump. No, I get it. If you forget where the A button is, you next go to B, since it's to the right of A. Simple mistakes people make all the time, kinda not really. The Y button. Oh, come on! Look, I get not all SNES games need to utilize all buttons, but seriously, do all the buttons need to be the jump button? I mean, look at Super Mario World. Both B and A are jump buttons, but B is a normal jump, whereas A is a spin jump. Both are jumps, but each one has its own result. Oh, that reminds me, I haven't pressed the X button yet. It's probably a jump too. So apparently Bubsy can glide in the game. It's never really explained how he can do this, but whatever. Is it the shirt? I bet it's the shirt, yeah. Pfft, who needs logic when you've got the Bubsy dance? Hit it, Bubsy! back to the controls. How do I put this? Bubsy is a failed attempt to make a Sonic the Hedgehog game, and the controls are a bane of its existence. On the ground, Bubsy starts out slow, but gets gradually faster the further you go, and that can sometimes be a nuisance, but more on that later. How about the air controls? Oh yeah, they're fine, if you glide every second that you're in the air. See, if you're running and then jumping, you can get really far, and that's good since Bubsy is a horizontal platformer. But let's say you make a mistake or you have to do some precision platforming, which there is plenty of in this game, and your technique is a little off. Well, if you jump in one direction, you are going in that direction even if it was a mistake. There is no changing your direction in midair, and that is complete garbage on an SNES game where you need to do precision platforming. Whenever I was jumping to the left, it constantly felt like I was being pushed to the right, like the level's like, "Where you going? The exit's that way." I know the exit is to the right, but I missed something, so I'm going back to get it. Actually, let me rephrase myself. If you're doing a normal jump, changing direction is a nightmare. But gliding, you can change in the nick of time, absolutely no problems there. Why is it that you can change your directions while gliding, but not jumping? So I go through level 1 collecting yarn. Ha! Get it? 'Cause he's a kitty cat! By the way, you're probably wondering what the yarn is for. Do you get an extra life when you get 100? Maybe it's like the Sonic rings where they act as health. Nope. They just add to your score at the end of the level. And seeing how your score isn't even recorded, it's safe to say the yarn does You don't gain anything out of it, you don't spend it at a shop at the end of each level, they're just there for the story. Oh, that's right, I forgot to mention that there's a story. Basically, these aliens called the Woolies, these things that throw eggs and can materialize cheese wheels out of thin air because why not, want to steal the world's supply of yarn. I don't know the reason, and it's never explained. Bubsy, being the mogul of yarn apparently, has the most to lose. So he sets out to stop the Woolies and bring back his yarn. Did you like that story? I'm glad you did, because they did not tell me any of that in the game. I literally went to Wikipedia and just paraphrased what they said. Okay, so still on the first level, flying around collecting yarn, killing Woolies, yada yada yada. Oh, so if you fall in the water, you die right then and there. I can totally understand that, and I find it believable. Sure, it's a stereotype, but at least it makes more sense than gliding. Hopefully they don't go overboard with it. Oh hey look, it's a pipe. Back at the beginning of the level there was a pipe that I went down and it was a shortcut. I mean, here it shows me dying from the sewer lid, which is a BS way on its own, and I don't have a recording of me doing it, but trust me, it's a shortcut. I wonder where this one will take me. Finally made it to the end of level 1. Now you may think that I died once, maybe twice before I got to the end of the level, and I wish I could say that was the truth, but I died 18 times. You wanna know why? The main reason I died so much is because almost everything kills you in one hit. Now this may not seem like a bad thing. I mean, the same thing could be said about Mario or later Rayman games. But there's two things that make this mechanic absolute BS. The first and less important part is that there are basically no power-ups whatsoever, with the ones you find being few and far, and that's fine. But the second and most taxing reason that this makes not only this mechanic but the entire game suck is actually a two-parter. The camera and the layout. Bubsy is placed in the center of the screen, which isn't a bad thing. I mean, Mario and Sonic are mostly in the center too. But the thing is that Bubsy, unlike Sonic and Mario, is normally the biggest character on screen, and that takes a lot of attention away from the surrounding areas and surrounding enemies. Like I said earlier, your running speed goes up gradually over time. Because of this one-hit mechanic, once a hazard appears on screen, there's no turning back and you run into that sucker almost immediately. Sure, you could jump, but the camera's so bad that it doesn't tell you what's coming up until it's too late. It forces you to stop, move the camera in every direction, and then keep going once you've scanned the area. And let me make myself very clear right now. You should never, ever be forced to use the camera in a 2D platformer. In Mario, you see that shit coming. In Rayman, you see that shit coming. In Bubsy, nope, f*** you, get good. Even in Sonic, where you can't always see everything coming your way, Sega made the right choice in making his jump be almost always invincible and his rings act as a buffer. And don't even get me started on projectiles. It is complete crap that those small eggs or fast cheese can kill Bubsy in one hit, especially when you can't see it coming. But the camera wouldn't be a problem if it wasn't for the terrible level layout and hazard placement. I mean, look at this. I didn't see that, did you see that? Why would you place an enemy out of my line of sight right above me? That's totally unfair. It doesn't stop there. There are so many terrible choices for enemy and hazard placement that I'm just gonna show you a montage of every time I died because of it. Cause you had a bad day, it was real bad, and that was a cheap shot, and everyone saw that Dog Knight had a bad day, and that was a cheap kill too. Look at that, how could anyone see that coming? You had a bad day. That was also not fair. Just for the record, there were like 20 more of these. You had a bad day. Cause you played Bubsy. Ooh. Every time you die, it plays the intro card to each level again and again, over and over. So I'd hear this 18 times.
What could possibly go wrong? What could possibly go wrong? What could possibly go wrong?
What could possibly go wrong?
What could possibly go wrong?
Okay, let's take a break from talking about the bad things about Bubsy. Let's talk about a few of the good things that it does, the things it does right. You know, it looks surprisingly nice for the game that it turned out to be. It's crisp, clean, and I never ran into any frame rate issues, which is okay. I'd complain that all they did was take the first two games and slap them on the PC without doing anything to them, but I'm not sure if this is a remake or compilation, so I'll let it slide. The time limit is generous in that I never found myself being short on time. Glad I got that out of my system. Okay, on to more shit now. Level 2.
Did I mention I don't like heights?
I don't really get it. Same crap as before, but at least it was done and over with quicker. Level 3.
More like a bridge too short.
Oh god, this is gonna be the entire game, isn't it? But now instead of ending the level, we get to fight a boss. It's 2 yarn UFOs. Alright, an interesting concept. Let's see how tough these guys are. Just happened. Alright then, on to World 2, which is apparently a carnival world. It's fun, but very confusing, and still suffers from the same annoyances as before.
Shouldn't that be fearless? Uh-oh.
Okay, it's kind of getting annoying now. And the World 2 boss? Literally the same as the first world boss. Nothing much else to say, on to World 3. I cannot stress this enough when I say World 3. It's a desert world that's twice the length of a normal level, part 1 being on a train and part 2 being in the desert, but they make sure that they add death traps everywhere because you suck and you do not deserve a break.
Go ahead, make my day.
Ugh, please shut up. World 4 is also kind of BS. It's better than World 3, but there is so much water. You move one step out of line, you're in the water. You miss your precision platforming due to terrible controls, you're in the water. It's so goddamn bad.
Is there a veterinarian in the audience?
Shut up. Just shut up.
What you say? That you only meant well, 'cause you did.
World 5 is actually the best world in the game, and it's mostly vertical platforming and there's less terrible enemy placement. Good on them. Let's see if the boss fight is any different. I don't know what I expected.
Oh, I can give up show business?
Now the last level. We've been to a village, a carnival, a desert, a dam, and a forest. What makes the most amount of sense for the final level? How about space? Yeah, it's never explained how Bubsy gets to space, but there he is, all up in space without a space helmet. By the way, this level is just as bad as World 3. It requires precision platforming in areas where the camera is your enemy, and you have to explore the level to flip switches to drain the lava.
Oh, are you still playing this thing?
I don't know, Bubsy! I don't know! Now before we get to the final boss, let's talk about Bubsy as a character. Bubsy is a terrible character. Accolade just wanted to make him like Sonic with an edgy attitude, in case you couldn't tell by his extremely loud shirt. But there's a problem with this. Sonic is edgy towards the other characters in the game, whereas Bubsy is edgy towards the player, constantly mocking them and having the most snarky attitude at all times. I mean, look at his idle animation. He's literally just asking for his face to be punched in. And this asinine attitude comes to fruition literally right after the final boss, which, by the way, yeah, that was it. Right after you beat the final boss, this pops up on your screen. This is the point in the game where I'm supposed to feel accomplished, like I've overcome some great feat. Instead, I feel more like, finally this stupid game is over. You shouldn't feel that way when you're playing a game. If you do, that means the game designers failed in making an enjoyable game. And there you have it. That's the end of Bubsy's first game. I mean, I don't want to sound like an asshole or anything, but is there something I'm missing about this game? I've read so many online comments and that people used to love playing this game, and it's actually a really fun and entertaining game. I can safely say that I honestly do not see it that way. This game was trying too much to make Bubsy like Sonic the Hedgehog while making the level design be anything but. If you're going to rip off a game, rip it off in the places that make sense instead of making an infuriating, utterly broken mess. Bubsy 1 was just not fun, like, at all. But guess what, you crazy cats? That's only the first game. There's still another game in this collection. Why else would they call it a twofer? I'm sorry, a two-fur. Ha! Get it? 'Cause he's a kitty cat!